forgiveness is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Because if you look at forgiveness from the way we're taught about it in our society, the idea is a bad person did something wrong. We shouldn't forgive them. They were bad. And if you do forgive them, there's almost like a weakness or something that's kind of laid on that idea of, forgiving someone. But when you actually understand the principle of separation, which is that it's perpetuated by guilt and judgment, then you understand that to actually heal on a meaningful level, you want to decrease separation, which is a separation from love and oneness. That's really what Jesus is talking about. When we come into separation, into the body, into this 3D experience that we're having, we truly seem to be separated from God. We can't hear God's voice. We are put in these vulnerable bodies, in these crazy families and weird societies. We truly feel separated from God. We aren't in actuality, but our experience feels that way. So when you practice forgiveness, you are going from the experience of separation. Every time you forgive and heal your mind through doing what Jesus teaches us to do, starting with less judgment, eventually going to forgive. When the Course talks about forgiveness, it's really about looking at the world with forgiving eyes. So it's not just you did something wrong to me as a person and I have to forgive you. It's about not constantly judging, right? It could be even the weather. Oh, it's a shitty rainy day. Oh, God, I hate rainy days. If you go into a rainy day with that attitude, you are going to suffer. You're going to have a less good day than if you tell the story, for example, of, wow, all the trees and plants are going to be so happy with all this rain. Even if you change a thought like that, that's a more forgiving thought. So in that moment, you're going to suffer less if you allow it to be a rainy day. And that applies to everything. It could be your own physical structure. It could be politics. It could be family. It could be your children leaving dishes around the house. It could be anything that you choose to use as your forgiveness practice, right? If your teenager leaves an endless pile of plates in their room, you can have the story, for example, they don't respect me. They are so self-indulgent. Oh my God, they're awful to be around. Or you could use it as your forgiveness practice and go, wow, I remember being a teenager. My mum couldn't get me out of bed before 2:00 in the afternoon. And you could pick up those dishes peacefully without the hatred being projected onto your child. And you could pick it up peacefully and go, well, you know what? I do need to discuss this, but you're not going to come at that discussion from a place of hatred and judgment, right? So making your mind more forgiving about something like that, which I would say most parents have probably experienced, you're going to have the conversation you have with your teenager is going to be very different if you've had the thought, wow, I remember being a teenager. My room looked like it had been ransacked every day, rather than, oh my God, they don't respect me. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm going to kick them out. Like, imagine the different conversation you're going to have if your mind's doing the hatred or your mind's doing the, oh wow, yeah, I remember being a teenager. Everything my parent did annoyed me. You're going to come at it completely differently. So that's the idea of forgiveness, right? That you're training of your mind into being less attacking and less judgmental is going to have real life effects in the relationships with the people that you have. And this is the thing that I have seen is that, my mind was a war zone when I picked up the Course, and it was worst time of my life. A lot of personal things were happening that were devastating to me, but they were created by me, sad to say.